sent me message on a Discord we're both in and said, "Hey, how do I get better if you want to take serious?" The TI hype really got to him when he was packing up for the trip. So since I have a lot less people to play Dota with now, I'm gonna take a little time in between the breaks because I've been watching the games, and we're gonna go over some stuff that I've seen, and I play with him a fair amount, that I think he could really improve on. And this is the game he asked me to look at in particular. And then I've got another game of his that I pulled up that we played together that did not go so well for any of us. We lost, but there were some things that happened there that he could have done. I don't know if he changes the fact because I don't think he changes the game because I think our lineup and also what happened top lane maybe, and plus some of my own mistakes messed things up because I played mid. But like, gaining MMR is all about personally getting better. Unless you are like so good, like you're already a 7K god and you're playing in 4K games, you'll just steamroll your way up. But if you're 3K, 4K, you gradually get better. Like that's just how it works. And you can have huge bursts of improvement, or you can have like those short ones, short gradual inclines. And it just depends on your natural talent, inclination, the patch, all sorts of things. But anyway, so what we are looking at here is a Phantom Assassin game where he is safe lane with an ogre. I've got his vision locked in and his player perspective. To start off with, he has going for the Poor Man's Shield build, which is fine, because he's going to be leaning against the Slardar, potentially a Ricky's going to be there, so there could be a fair amount of trading, so that's a fine decision. He got 2 pieces of regen, which I think is a must, and the one thing he needs to do is make sure he gets his Stout Shield immediately, because when you don't have your Stout Shield to start, if you don't get it quickly, you can be very well punished for it. So let's see what he does, and what he goes for. So right from the start, he goes from a Quelling Blade, and I'll say this, like, you are 2 melee heroes versus the Slardar. Oops, I meant to still leave that paused. And the Slardar has a Stout Shield, and he also has a lot of base armor. So when you don't have a Stout Shield, you're going to lose those traits as a carry. Especially as a PA, you have less HP pool, plus he has the potential to crush you. There's a lot going on there. So I don't think you want to go for that the Quelling Blade play, especially if a Ricky were to come up here and pressure you. Now it turns out if you look at the minimap, Ricky's mid, but you don't necessarily know that when you make that decision. So it's very important to get your Poor Man's Shield, to have a Stout Shield, because even if you're just diving on him, the creep hits without a Stout adds up to a ton of your HP pool, especially when you don't have Blur leveled. So that's just something I think you need to do here. Now the other thing is, if you'll notice something that this Slaughter did is he pulled the creep wave back, and he got his range creep getting hit on, and then the fact that he's trading with the ogre means the creep wave's naturally going to push here. 2-0 you could have manipulated that. You right click the hero, you draw aggro, you pull aggro onto your range creep, so that way your range creep dies, so you don't get the double range creep so much. And that allows you to control the wave, and this is something you consistently never do. I don't think I've ever seen you do it deliberately. You don't manipulate the creep wave with aggro, and this is very important. Once you hit around 3K, and especially at 4K, everyone does this. They right-click a hero with their vision of an enemy creep and use it to manipulate the creep wave to where it is easier for them to last hit, and it is easier to get denies off. And it's just something you have to learn how to do, and there are a lot of videos on how to do this that can go over in greater detail than me, but it's just a skill you have to gain. Right here, you're going for this trade, but you get crushed. And even here, like you see, you take like 100 HP. You've taken a Tango's worth of damage. Let's pull up the last hits here. You've taken a Tango's worth of damage, and that could be probably like halved with the Stout Shield easily. And yeah, maybe if you need this to get last hits there, I just don't like that play. But you get it right away, so it's not a huge deal. And now you're going to get your last hits, but this wave is very, very pushed. So the next thing you need to do is you need to be telling your ogre to pull the lane. And if you won't do it, you need to probably do it yourself. And that's another thing I've consistently seen when you play. You don't like pull yourself here. Also, focus on getting last hits, not denies there necessarily. I like that you're just harassing him constantly, but he's getting an XP lead on you here, and this ogre's not pulling and he's not zoning him. So it's just not great here for this ogre. And now due to replay bug, I know Ricky's here, but whatever. Or actually maybe this sentry told us, but anyway. So these are the sort of things that I think you really prove on. Because look at, you're just sitting here doing nothing. You're going to see this rookie now. He gets stunned out. I don't think you can kill him, though, because you don't have dust, and he's just going to walk outside the sentry. Yeah. So right there, you had a perfect opportunity. You were doing nothing, and you could have pulled. Now, maybe the rookie messes up that pull. Like, a good rookie player in that situation would recognize the pull's happening and stop it. But you don't know that, because you weren't in position to try. And so if you pull that creep wave on the side camp there, you could easily get there. You could even go... you just got to do something to try to get the creep wave in your favor. Heck, even manipulating creep aggro to pull them onto your range creep is very important here. Because, yeah, you can't pull the lane back unless you're going to sacrifice some CS to pull, but it's worth it. But at the very least, you should be using try to get your range creep hurt. And then if your range creep dies, you can pull the wave back gradually over the series of time. The other thing I'd say here is, so you're just sitting here last hitting with him. With 2 heroes with an ogre behind you. Why? Like, go aggressively trade with him. You've got a stout shield, you've used none of your regen, you have an ogre there. So it's not like he can just jump on you, keep going on you, and kill you. You've got all this regen, you should be using it. And the Slardar, if we look, has a wand and 2 tangos. So I don't know if you clicked on it or not. Sometimes replay things don't show you this. But because you have all this regen and you're not using it, you're just passively last hitting and letting the Slardar get a XP lead that gets bigger and bigger. And this is just bad. And again here, we're in a situation where you're kind of just sitting here last hitting, ogre's passive. No one's pushing anyone out of lane. You're both getting last hits, which is fine. You have more, which is good. Yeah, see right there? Maybe you did that on purpose, but I just don't see that you do consistently do that, and it's something you need to do. And you're even like hit the creep a few times unnecessarily. See, and now you're backing here. You're gonna miss at least one last hit because you want to get the Blightstone out. That's fine. So, but you got your Blightstone, so now you're in a position. Again, you got itemized for a Blightstone instead of boots. I think this is a big mistake. Now you want to get the Blightstone because you can't get it from the side shop, but boots are what lets you trade very efficiently. It lets you chase heroes down, it lets you avoid hits. But if you do go Blightstone, you're saying, I want to harass the crap out of him. I want to give him the -2 armor, and that means that these trades are going to heavily be in my favor. Alternatively, you could have just side pulled this, just have the ogre take the last hits. Ogre is just sitting there. He could have done it. And you spent all of your mana here. That was the other comment I would have, is that instead of going in if you brought a Clarity, you could have more mana, or a Mango. I understand you're going for the PMS Quell early, but having a Tango, or a Clarity, can really give you that extra bit of mana sustain, which makes a big difference. See, and now he can just contest you, because he's got XP advantage, your Ogre's in here, you're scared. See, right now, like, you could trade with him. Like, yeah, he's level 4, but why are you scared? You got an ogre here. And you just let him passively, slowly tango himself up. And meanwhile, you know, you're just trying to farm and just last hit, and you're not pushing him out of lane. Slardar's a weak laner. You need to take advantage of that. Now you've got boots especially. Like, why aren't you punching with him? Why aren't you trading with him? And so that's kind of my comments about this. So, you had extra regen on him. You never used it. You didn't use it to win the lane. You've got your full set of tangos, you've got your full heal sub, and that's because the Slardar is scared. But fundamentally, because you're letting him do what he wants, he doesn't feel pressured. So he just tangos up, gets what he needs, and this gives the Slardar a better start than he should have. So, yeah, I mean, and then there's some other moments later in the game, I'm going to skip around a little bit too, that I think illustrate some other issues that you have. So, let's go to 10 minutes. Okay. So 10 minutes here. You're now level 6, this ogre's level 4. This Slardar's level 8, which is way too high. But you're chasing him down for the murder. It looks like he's going to get away. Yeah. So. And that's the sort of thing you could have been doing earlier. Like, before he has this big laning advantage, before he has levels and these items. He's at 35 last hits right now, and you've had an ogre babysitting you this whole time. This means that your XP is lower than it should be, but you weren't pressuring him, and you still have a salve left. Like, just shoving him out of lane is valuable. Like, look there. Like, because you shoved him out of lane and you had a, it looks like some support placed a ward there, Guap just rotates over and gets a kill. Like, these are the sort of things that pressuring people opens up opportunities around the map. So that's kind of what I have to say for this part of the game. So, for laning, I think your mechanics could get a lot better. I think manipulating creep aggro is something you should work on. I think you should work on trading, like trying to get in free last hits, get those free right clicks, just harassing. It's a very important part of laning, even safe lane, mid, off lane. It's just important. Now, how you do it just depends on each lane and each situation. It's very difficult to say universally, but favorable trades is what you seek. And that's why you buy regen, so you can make favorable trades and sustain in the lane. Pulling by yourself when necessary. And then beyond that, item choices. Now, your item choices here were very good. I don't really have any problem with them. I said, I would probably want clarity, but not bringing clarity is fine. Like, you don't necessarily need it. You buy an Aquila or a Bassi, just a naked casual Bassi to deal with your mana regen issues. It's a good solution. It's fine. And you're going for Desolator. But just try to think about what you need in the lane, because in the other game we're going to look at, you didn't have as good of selection for your regen. So let's go to the other games. So let's go to the download. Here we are. This was the game that we played together. We did lose. Kind of got snowballing on us, but in this game you are playing a Weaver. So we're gonna zoom up through this real quick and get to the more interesting bits. Dota's going fast. So let's talk about your starting items to begin with. In this Weaver game, we are looking at tangos. You've got a clarity that's good. You've got this extra 180 gold, and you don't have a salve. You don't spend all your money, and probably because you're going to buy this Blightstone, or maybe you're going to finish the Bassi here. But going as an offlaner, when you don't know the situation with only one piece of regen, is incredibly risky. You don't have a shrine. You are inherently a squishy hero with very little armor. Your armor is just 3 when you're not underneath the tower, because you got 1 armor plus 2 from your ring of protection, which is a fine starting item for Weaver. Starting armor is very necessary for him. So I don't like this to begin with. You should spend your gold. It's very important to spend your gold when you start. There's a reason why mids constantly bring out salves. If you had another set of tangos or another salve, like, it just frees you up to play a lot more aggressively in the lane. And this really matters for how this lane turns out. Now, by the way, I'd like to compliment you. You got a really great block. Your range creep's in front. So this should enable you to get potentially a deny and also get the wave pushed underneath your tower. And it ends up turning out you're against a solo Monkey King who comes out and just gets the last hit. Whatever. Try to look for that deny, but it's fine that you didn't get it. But now the lane's going to push under your tower, so it's a lot safer for you. And you have to be worried because you're an offlane Weaver. You have to be worried that, oh, I might get jumped by these supports. But pretty soon I think you should have realized that the Centaur and the Huskar were both top, and you were left there. And that's the sort of creep we like. You can pull creep further back so you can easily get that last hit. So there, and now he's got double range creep. So at this point, you need to sit here and look at the lane matchup and how it goes. The Monkey King is got 300 range. Your range is like 425, I believe. Let's look. It is actually, yes, 425. Weaver's actually a really short-ranged hero. But you are still a ranged hero, and once you have Geminate attack, you can definitely trade with him and just punch him a bunch, and it will really punish him out. You should also have checked his inventory and seen he doesn't have his stout shield left. He got a stick first. Sakuchi is also a great harass tool. Each time you use Sakuchi, you can do 75 damage to him. 75 damage is the equivalent of a full Geminate attack, or, you know, like 2 right clicks potentially from a normal hero. So just constantly Sakuching someone, if you're not pressured to use the Sakuchi to save yourself, you can Sakuchi him, go back to a safe position, and then continue. You've gotten free harass. These are the sort of things you need to do to kind of win this lane, because I'll be honest, a solo Monkey King should lose to a Weaver. He's level 2 on you now, so you gotta be cautious, but that's just because of the way here. And he's also at less hitting you, but it's because his base damage is better, and, well, sometimes you get that last hit. It's fine. But yeah, so now you're gonna get level 2, and then once you got your Blightstone. So now, with this Blightstone, again, you've really prioritized this Blightstone. A Blightstone's an aggressive tool to trade or push towers. It's something that you want to use aggressively. And in this situation, I don't think like right now, you could be right-clicking him. He's in the creep wave like that. When he's in the creep wave like that, you can punch him. When he comes up for a last hit, go punch him. Because if you're not going for a last hit or deny, and he's up in the creep wave, there's no reason you can't just walk up and attack him. See right there, it looks like you were trying to get the deny, but yeah, wait, you could just punch him. So you're just very focused on just last hit deny, and the thing is that yeah, look at that. Look at how much HP dropped. He was at full HP, and you hit him with that Blightstone once. You take him into negative armor. He doesn't have a stout shield or his stout shield yet, so no poor man's. He took 120 damage of his HP. If you were to, punch him twice, Sakuchi through him, move back to a safe position, he takes a third of his HP. And he's only got one piece of regen, just like you. So every time you pressure him, and you have a CM on your team, so you have plenty of mana and a clarity. You have so much mana, and you can just constantly be harassing him and just forcing him to be scared and get him into kill range. Because a big part of why you need to harass is so you can get into kill range. So that's kind of my thoughts on this lane. Yeah, see, what you do here is good. You harass him and then you come out, but you just canceled your right click there. And yeah, he used his stun on you, but now his stun's on cooldown for like 22 seconds. And see, he has to back off. So he knows, he can't trade with you right now. So what you need to do is to, if he comes near this creep wave, you punish him for it. If he comes near for a last hit, punish him. Because this is a 1v1 matchup. So once you're in 1v1, this is very much like a mid matchup. It's just a little weird. And now you want to go finish your Bassi. You move here. You're just kind of missing last hits. And you look like you're trying to run through him, but you just miss him because he sees it coming. It's very important to not shop when you're going to miss last hits too. These are just little things. And see, he's kind of escaping this danger period when he didn't have a stout shield. His levels were lower, so he doesn't have as much potential to punish you. And you were strong. And now the wave's getting pushed, you're feeling less safe, and he's getting more levels. So this lane could have gone a lot better for you. But we're going to speed up now and go to another section right now. Let's see, we're going to go to your vision here. Oh, this looks like there, and I want to say around 10 minutes here. So right here, you're getting going on. You got to go home. Is it 10 minutes? Yeah, it's 10 minutes. So about 30 seconds is the area, the highlight. So the state of the game is we're up in kills, but we're down in farm. It's because they had a jungle troll who's just free farming, and that was what happened. So yeah, and the Necro's rotated from mid to bot, and you're just farming here. So I think if I remember what happens is, yeah. Okay, we get a hook. No. 10 minutes. I think you guys use the shrine and stuff happens. Anyway, so I'm trying to remember what happens here.
This'll come in handy.
Maybe it was a little after. But anyway, so right here, you're sitting here, you're kind of low on the CS. You're very low, you're like an offlaner, but you had a solo 1v1 matchup. That's not great. But now you're just farming. And there's a bunch of heroes. Oh, I know. This, yeah, when I said 10 minutes, it was more like 11 minutes. So, anyway. Yeah, you use Sakuchi. Now it looks like they go up top. You look, and you see, and it looks like they killed the CK. And they're getting in for a fight, and we're going for a fight here. And use your bugs here, and it's kind of unnecessary. I guess you're trying to deep push the wave, but all you do is give him an extra last hit and prevent the wave from being under tower. And your bugs are now on cooldown, which kind of sucks. Which doesn't really do anything. So now you buy a TP, you get it shipped out to you because you want to be up there for the fight. That's good. You're looking at the fight, you're like, man, I don't have a TP. If you really wanted a TP bad, you could have gone to the side shop and gotten here a lot faster. But you really wanted your Glove of Haste, which you also could have gotten from the side shop, and you could have Sakuchi there. But so it's important to use the side shop. So now you're TPing up, you want to be it for the fight. This fight happens, and it's pretty done at this point. Centaur's just going to walk out, and you TP'd up here. So, downside to this move is because you TP'd up here and everyone's top, Troll looks like he just took mid. It's fine. It's going to happen. Trades happen, fights happen, and things go there. So now you're up top. You've TP'd up, so you can't TP, you can't defend bot. You can't defend mid. And at this point, I believe I said I've got to go 10 mid. So what you are as a Weaver is you can definitely put pressure on a hero. You've got an Aquila, you've got a Blightstone. You can put so much pressure by pushing because you add creep armor and you reduce tower armor. And also the Swarm's a great tool for diving towers or pressuring it. But you don't do any of that. You look here, you're like, okay, I TP to fight. What do? I need to go back down to the bot lane. But you're wasting like a full minute running across the map trying to get down to bot lane. We end up forwarding it and somebody else TP's down there. So now it's fine. Okay, so the team has responded. There's no push top, which I think you should try to put pressure top. But you elected not to. You wanted to get to mid and bot. Okay, that's a fine choice. That's an okay choice. Maybe you didn't think diving that tower with the Centaur healthy and people respawning was the play. But then, so Pudge is going to defend bot, so Pudge has got bot, and I moved into farming this little triangle of jungle camps because I'm a Shadow Fiend, and I saw that you were coming to this wave. So I'm like, okay, Weaver's going to farm here, I'm going to go farm somewhere else. And I can farm jungle really fast. Weaver can't. So I can go to jungle, he can farm wave, we're going to gain gold out of this. But instead, you decide, oh, there's a fight, because Monkey King got a nice hook on it. He got a nice hook on the Monkey King, and he's going. And you realize this, and Pudge is coming in. And I'm running over, and you're running over. But you run over here to get this kill, and yeah, you do get the kill, but what ends up happening is because you get this kill, we don't accomplish anything, and you didn't push this wave mid. And in the end, it's like, what are you doing? You didn't farm here, you TP'd up top, you ran mid, didn't farm a single creep, then decided to run bot. You're just like chasing fights. And kind of with Weaver, you're this hero that pushes side lanes. Like, this is about the other thing you need to think about, is that hero role and map presence. Like, how do you do things? And this is one of the things that I didn't like about how this game is played, but in particular, is that we didn't, overall, you didn't split push. You often were in the jungle, and that meant that we just didn't have this push here. So again, okay, let's push. Let's push. You've got the Aquila, I've got an Aquila. Hopefully my ring is on. No, I don't even have an Aquila. So you need to turn the aura on. We push this tower very hard. Because look at the Blightstone just chunking these tower. Now at this point, I think I'm scared. No, we're not even scared. Okay, I see the Necro, and now I'm very scared. And you just get ulted and died. So this is unfortunate. This is the downside of trying to push lanes. We overcommit. And I believe I die here too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I die. No, maybe I get out. So that's what I mean, like, you just wasted a lot of time here, and that's very bad. Yeah, I think I just die here. I think I'm okay. Anyway, so now another point this happened was at 15 minutes, so we're going to go up to here. We're going to go up to 15 minutes. It's always tricky. So, 15 minutes, let's see. Kind of what's happening. Oh, it's 16 minutes. So in 30 seconds or something, I saw some sort of map presence thing, I thought. So you saw two heroes there, you're scared, so you just go farm the jungle. Okay, that's fine. Farm this jungle camp. You can go from there. You get what you can. And it looks like you're on Dragonlance. That's a fine build. You, at some point you need damage, but I understand wanting Dragonlance. And Huskar is going for the meme bills, that sort of thing. So you go to pressure him. Looks like CK is maybe looking for a kill. But, you know, you can't really accomplish much. You defend the tower. That's fine. So, yeah. So, mid tower goes down on Dire. You pick up a ward. And you're just kind of not farming now. Necro gets this. And so here, this wave here, okay, they pushed in mid, we see this Huskar spot, you can just push in mid, push it very hard, and I'm pretty sure we killed this Huskar. Yeah. So you get, so the fight bot's going on, you look, decide the fight's going well, and just keep pushing. Yeah, we killed two, we just murdered them. But what happens now? This is the part I was saying. You don't push mid lane in, you decide to walk bot. So instead of getting, we're running at this tower, we've killed two, they used Monkey King ult, and instead of you pushing in mid to pressure that, you're coming in bot to help push, but it's a tower that's already low, and we've got 3 heroes here already. So instead what you've done is you've taken a minute where you're not farming, and you're not pushing in any pressure to this tower. And you could have easily pushed into the point we're there. So this wave could be hitting this tower, we could be chip temp damage here. And then I said, okay, let's go top. And you TP'd in there, we're both TPing, we're both running top, trying to take a fight here. And then the hook misses, but they stay, and I believe we just killed them all. Yeah, you just annihilate him, you blow up this troll, and it's good. But here's the thing, if you watch what Voiceless does, and I think he does a better job of this, is he was pushing in mid and decided, okay, I'm going to push in and put pressure on this tower. But he doesn't have a TP, and he's not an elusive hero, so he's not the ideal person to do it. But he knows he should do it. He knows he should push in this wave. You could easily pushed in mid, and because we saw Necro was top with the troll, they have like no chance of killing you. Your only threat in the game was pretty much like the Necro ult, maybe Monkey King, if you can't get your time lapse off. But instead, you could have just TP top after you pushed in another wave or two, and then just there's more map control to be had. And then here, you just go to farm jungle creeps. Like, there's going to be a wave coming here. You could be farming that. I do the same thing, because I want to farm there, and then I'm going to farm mid, and unfortunately Voiceless gets caught. And then once I realize you're there, I start running up top, or you start running up top. But it's one of those things, one of us should just be pushing this. And I think this is one of those games where I think you should be pushing it, and I should be farming jungle, just because it's faster that way. And that's just something to think about. I don't think you tend to take safe farm all the time, instead of going for playing your role. And so this was kind of my other thoughts on what heroes you like to play. Let's go to Dota buff and pull that up. Let's get out of this replay. Boop, 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 boop. Pull this over here. Go to Dota. Here's a monitor capture. Dota buff for 2-0 inside. I should have pulled this up already. Like, what sort of heroes do you like to play? So, heroes most played. And these are the heroes you like to play. You like to play Phantom Assassin, Drow Ranger, Necrophos, Slark, Animage, Luna, Viper, Terrorblade, Spiritbreaker, Jug. Like, these are the sorts of heroes you like to play. So, when you're looking to climb, you got to figure out what you enjoy doing, so what you'll do consistently and what you can be good at for it. So, what kind of heroes do you like to play? Do you like to play... In this case, I think you also pick Clinks a lot. You just pick Clinks in another game we played. I think you like to play two kinds of heroes that I can think of. You like to play like heroes that go out and get kills, and help their team that way. And you like to play heroes that push, like objective takers. Like you play Clinks, you play Terrorblade, you play Drow, you play Luna, you play Viper. These are all heroes that just push. They just hit force objectives by raw damage. And then you play these heroes that like to kill. You play Slark, you play Phantom Assassin. The one odd man out is Animage, who's kind of a split pusher, but he's also he's a split pusher, and then he gets his Abyssal, and then he becomes the ganker. And I think becoming aware of pushing out waves aggressively will really help you with AM. You've got a 51% win rate. I think your recent win rate with him is much better, as you've gotten a better understanding of him. But overall, I think that's just 68%. And Necro, your win rates are great. Like these objective takings and killings heroes. And so I think you just need to in Chaos Knight, he's like a combination of both. He kills heroes, and then when his ult's up, if you don't kill his illusions, he just wrecks towers. So these are the things I think you need to focus on. Like, think about what your hero should be doing. If you're an objective pusher, you need to push lanes out all the time, and then group up with your team and just force towers. Or if you're like Clinks, or more of a split pusher, or Weaver, you go split push, and you push towers in. That sort of thing. And if you're going to play heroes like PA, Necro, and Slark, you need to look for kills. Like, you kill heroes, and then you use them to take objectives. Like, Necro doesn't push it all himself. He sustains a team, which is, I think, how you usually play him in the offlane. You get mech. But fundamentally, you use your ult to kill someone, and then you say, I'm this tanky hero that heals everyone else up, and I've killed one of your heroes. Now we push, because we're up one hero. It doesn't matter. We don't have good heroes to push. So, yeah. So, that's the key heroes I think you need to improve on is, I think your laning could get a ton better. I think you just get very focused on, I'm going to last hit, I'm going to last hit, I'm going to last hit. But trading is also important, managing the creep aggro as the safe laner yourself is your responsibility. Your supports are not always going to know when to pull. They'll do bad pulls, they'll do good pulls, they'll do no pulls like that ogre did, no pulls. So you gotta, like, one, tell him what you want. Use your mic. That doesn't work, go do what you need to do. Do you need to pull the small camp yourself because the lane is so far pushed you can't farm safely? Do it. Do you need to pull the hard cap into the lane to create a stack for yourself? Do it as Sven. Do it as Slark. Slark can take stacks. Sven can take stacks. Necro can take stacks. Like, AM eventually will take the stack. AM also can just single pull it in and then kill the big creeps and then kill all the creeps in the creep wave, increasing his farm that way. That's sort of laning things I think you can improve on. And then just better map presence. Like, on your PA game, you said you got split pushed a lot. And I'm not going to do full replay of the review of that because there's a bunch of TI games going on. I want to watch them. But in that game when I watched it, you said, oh, they were just ratting and split pushing. And there's true. They had the Shadow Fiend that was better at split pushing you because he can just raise waves and go. But, like, as a PA, you just went to the jungle to farm all the freaking time. Like, you were so scared to go to any lane. Like, even when you had vision on the enemy heroes, you'd rather take a medium camp than farm a wave. And it has a cumulative effect of, like, the waves are never pushed out. It's harder for you to get ganks. It's when you do end up murdering them all, it's harder to take objectives. That game that took an hour long, you guys had a Rax at 40 minutes and you had an 18, you had Abyssal, BKB, you had like all the tools you need in the game. But you just didn't push lanes, so it took an extra 25 minutes and it was hard because they just kind of split push you and you never like made a concerted effort as a team to push out lanes. So yeah. The other thing I'm going to go on to look at is, actually that was one of the other things I wanted to talk about, is your itemization in that game. So we'll go back on the watch tab, go to downloads, go to that Phantom Assassin game viewers. Where is that? There it is, right? No, that's my replay. There it is, hour long. Okay. So, and this is what I mean by itemization is better. So in the end of this game, you're against a Shadow Fiend, a Riki, a Slardar, Kunkka, and a CM. So already you need to get a BKB. Most PA games are BKB games, but this is a very BKB game. But when you look at your item, beyond that, what else kills you? Well, Silver Edge and then physical damage. They have Slardar, who gives you minus 20 armor with his skills. He has a Solar Crest. The Kunkka actually got a Desolator. And Shadow Fiend has Aura, which reduces your armor. Meanwhile, you went Deso, Basher, BKB, Abyssal. That's good. But then your next item was the Scotty. Scotty doesn't help you with the fact that you had 0 armor. A lot of these fights you actually just died instantly if you didn't get the good jump on somebody because you just got right-clicked down by the Shadow Fiend. He just punched you. You got Silver Edge, they just punched you. Or they just punched you with MKB. Heck, even when your evasion was still up, they punch you and they take like a third of your HP in a single hit sometimes. All because you didn't build any armor items. You're pretty much reliant on the Abaddon being near you for any, or the Ogre's mech to give you any sort of armor once you got Slardar ulted. You were pretty good about BKBing when you got amped because you needed to at that point, but a couple times you died because you just decided to man mode and didn't itemize for any armor, which just kind of sucks. Like, what does a Scotty do for you in these situations? It doesn't stop them from breaking you. That's what your BKB does, and it doesn't stop you from just getting a right click down. Like, honestly, the options were either a butterfly or an armor item of some kind. Probably just an AC. Even just a casual plate mail would have been good. So, anyway, too, I'm gonna go back to watching TI. Hopefully, these things give you something to think about. I also would highly recommend you watch your own replays, and hopefully, you can climb some MMR, and then eventually, once you get to gain like 1,000 MMR roughly, you can then tell me what to do, because then you'll be the same as me. So anyways, I'm going to close the broadcast now, and hopefully you found this helpful. Actually, I'm going to make that too big for me to hit stop.